Hello friends, I am Krishna Kanjani from LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. Welcome to the online lecture series on kinematics and theory of machine. In today's session, we will learn our first chapter, that is Introduction to Mechanism and Machine. Today's topic is inversion of mechanism. Now this topic is very much important according to your GTU examinations. Okay, this question many times they will ask in 7 marks questions also, that what is inversion of mechanism and explain any one inversion of mechanism. Okay, so let's start this session with inversion of mechanism. Now to learn about inversion of mechanism, first we have to identify that what is mechanism. Okay, so over here you can refer that one of the link of a kinematic chain is fixed, then that chain is known as a mechanism. Okay, let's consider one example, then you can easily identify that over here the example is bicycle. Now with respect to this fixed frame, if you refer this diagram, then over here with respect to this fixed frame, your link number 2, let's consider this pedal, and if you are giving input to this link number 2, that is rotary motion, then this will transmit motion through this chain to the rear wheel. Okay, so in this way you are transmitting your motion from link number 2 to link number 4, and this transmission is occurring with respect to this fixed frame. Okay, so simply we can say that we have to identify a mechanism, then we have to first of all identify that which component or which kinematic link of this mechanism is fixed. Okay, so in this way we can identify various mechanisms. Now in our syllabus we have to learn only about simple mechanism, that is a mechanism which is consisting only 4 kinematic links. Okay, so first of all let's learn about types of mechanisms. So there are mainly 3 types of simple mechanism. First one, which is known as a 4-bar chain mechanism, which is consisting 4 kinematic links, or we can say 4 kinematic bars. Second mechanism, that is single slider mechanism, and the third one, that is double slider mechanism. Okay, so now inversion of mechanism. So simply we can say that if we are able to identify that which kinematic link is fixed, then we can define mechanism. Now to obtain various mechanisms, what we can do? So we can simply change various links into fixation. For example, if a kinematic chain which is consisting 4 kinematic links, then out of these 4 kinematic links, if we are fixing first link, then that is termed as a first mechanism. If we are able to fix the second link, then that will be another type of output. Okay, so that can be termed as a second mechanism. So in this way, to obtain different mechanisms, we have to fix different links of a kinematic chain. So over here, this is the simple process which is known as the inversion of mechanism. So inversion of mechanism is the process, or we can say the method of obtaining mechanisms by fixing different links of a kinematic chain. Okay, so in our syllabus we have to learn inversion of all these 3 types of mechanism. So we will study inversion of 4-bar chain mechanism, inversion of single slider mechanism, and inversion of double slider mechanism. First of all, let's start with the inversion of 4-bar chain mechanism. So over here you can refer that to learn about inversion of 4-bar chain mechanism, first we have to learn about 4-bar chain mechanism. So what is 4-bar chain mechanism? So as the diagram indicate over here, the first diagram, over here you can refer that this fixation can be termed as link number 1. Now with respect to this link number 1, your link number 2 is the first rod, that is your O1B. Similarly your link number 3 and link number 4. Now in second diagram you can refer that with respect to your fixation, that is your link number 1, your link number 2 is completely able to rotate. Okay, so that is your crank component. Now with respect to this link number 2, your link number 3 is oscillating, and with respect to this link number 3, your link number 4, which is termed as a, we can say, lever, this link number 4 is also turning with respect to link number 3. Okay, so in this way we can identify that in this mechanism there are 4 kinematic pairs which is turning pair. Okay, how we can identify? So let's make list of these 4 kinematic pairs. So first pair is your link number 1 and link number 2, that is your pair number 1. Link number 2 and link number 3, that is your pair number 2. Link number 3 and link number 4, that is your pair number 3, and link number 4 which is again fixed with link number 1. Okay, over here this one is also your link number 1 because it is again a fixation. Okay, so that is your fourth kinematic pair. So over here we can simply identify that this kinematic chain is consisting 4 turning pair, and that's why we can term it simply as a 4-bar chain mechanism. Now to learn the inversion of 4-bar chain mechanism, let's make a list that inversion of 4-bar chain mechanism. So mainly 3 types of inversions over here. The first inversion, which is known as a beam engine mechanism, second one coupling rod of locomotive, and the third one which is known as a Watt's engine indicator. In GTU examination they will ask the definition of inversion of mechanism, and you have to mention inversion of any of this mechanism. So first will be your 4-bar chain mechanism. So they may ask that list out the inversion of 4-bar chain mechanism. So over there you can list out these 3 mechanisms and you have to explain it one by one. So let's consider the first one, that is beam engine mechanism. So the first inversion, beam engine mechanism. Over here, as you can refer this figure, this entire bottom and this vertical component is your link number 1 because it is a fixation, or we can say frame. Now with respect to this fixation, your link number 2 AB is able to completely rotate, and we have defined previously that any component which is able to produce complete rotation, then that component is known as a crank. So over here we will term link number 2 as your crank. Now this link number 2 is connected with your link number 3, that is your link BC. Now this link BC will oscillate with respect to this AB link, so that's why it is termed as a connecting rod. Now this connecting rod is connected with 4th link, that is your link number CD, which is extended with E point. So over here your link CDE is your link number 4. Now how it will work? So let's refer this figure. Now over here you can refer that with respect to this whole fixation, that is your link number 1, that is your frame, your link number 2, that is your crank, which is this disc, is able to completely rotate, and as this disc is able to completely rotate, which is termed as a crank, so that is your link number 2. Now with respect to your crank, your lever connecting rod is able to oscillate, and with respect to this link number 3, your link number 4, which is known as a lever, is also able to oscillate. So this mechanism is consisting 4 kinematic links, that is your fixation link number 1, link number 2 crank, link number 3 connecting rod, and link number 4 lever. So that's why it is also termed as a crank and lever mechanism. Okay, in exam they may ask that explain crank and lever mechanism. So over there you can explain this beam engine mechanism. Now some of the students may ask, then what is about this mechanism? So this is our extension, which is piston and cylinder arrangement. Okay, over here we are focusing on mainly 4 kinematic links. Okay, so over here this link number 4 is giving extension to this piston and cylinder arrangement, which is used for oil extraction industries. Okay, so over here we have to focus only with these 4 links, and this 4th link is producing our output, that is your reciprocation. Okay, so this is all about beam engine mechanism, that is inversion of your 4-bar chain mechanism. Now in this diagram you can also make a list that turning pairs over here is your link number 1, that is your fixation frame, and with respect to this frame your crank is rotating, or we can say turning. Similarly with respect to crank, your connecting rod is turning. Similarly with respect to connecting rod, your lever, and with respect to lever your frame is again turning over here. Okay, so that's why we can make list of 4 kinematic pairs which are turning pairs. Okay, now second inversion, that is coupling rod of locomotive. So let's learn coupling rod of locomotive engine. Now over here you can refer this diagram. So over here let's consider this fixation, again your link number 1. Now with respect to this link number 1, your link number 2, let's consider this crank, that is your BC. Okay, this crank BC is able to produce complete rotation, that is your link number 2. Now with respect to this link number 2, your link number 3 will be traveling parallelly. Okay, so it will move in this direction, and with respect to this link number 3, your link number 4 is also able to rotate. Now over here you can understand this working by this diagram. that if you will give input to your link number 2, that rotation, then this will produce rotation of your on link number 4. Now this is happening because we have reduced the length of link number 4 by comparing it with link number 2. Now the length of link number 2 and link number 4 must be same, then and then it will able to produce the same rotation which is produced in link number 2. Okay, so over here we can refer that this link number 2 is your crank, and similarly your link number 4 is again termed as a crank, so it is also known as a double crank mechanism. Okay, now the practical application over here. So the coupling rod of locomotive, as the name indicate, it is used in locomotive engines, and this engine we can refer with this diagram even, that in previous times, so to transmit the motion from your driving wheel to rear wheel, then this type of mechanism is used in your trains. Okay, so that is all about second inversion of 4-bar chain mechanism, that is coupling rod of locomotive. So the third inversion, that is Watt's engine indicator. So let's learn Watt's engine indicator. Now as the diagram indicates over here, that this mechanism is used for indicator purpose, which means that if you want to measure the level of or we can say the position of your piston, then this position can be measured with the help of this engine indicator mechanism. Okay, now how it works? So let's first identify 4 links of this mechanism. So first of all, your fixation. Okay, so that is your link number 1, that is fixation point A point. Now with respect to this A point, that is your link number 1, link number 2, that is ABC. Okay, so this ABC link will be rotating, or we can say it will partially oscillate with respect to this fixed point A. Now as we will give as the ABC link will oscillate parallel to this mechanism, so this C point is connected with CDE. So similarly your CDE link will also oscillate. Now this CDE link is connected with your piston cylinder arrangement. Now over here your link number 4, that is your, if you consider that is this your piston cylinder arrangement, then this piston arrangement, as you can refer that this piston, if it is moving in upward direction, then due to this upward direction, this link number BED, that is your link number 4, will be also moving in upward direction, and now due to upward motion of this BDE link, your link number ABC will slightly turn with respect to point number A, and it is indicated with dashed lines with red color over here. Okay, so similarly this oscillation, or we can say this rotation of your ABC link will produce oscillation of CDE link, and over here you can refer that this minor movement of your piston in vertical direction will magnified over here with EE dash. So in this diagram, the link number 1 is your input, which is your lever, and again your link number 4, or we can say this link number 3, which is producing your output and is again a lever. So that's why this mechanism is also known as double lever mechanism. Okay, so this is all about inversion of 4-bar chain mechanism, which is beam engine mechanism, coupling rod of locomotive, and Watt's engine indicator. Thank you.